The BRRRR method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and systemize. B stands for buy. You need to buy a distressed property. That's key. It must be distressed using somebody else's money. Now, the most common source of somebody else's money is a private lender, a hard money lender, or maybe even some type of line of credit that you have on maybe your house or a business. So the key here is finding a property at a deep discount. And in order to do that in today's market and probably going forward for forever, you have to have a property that is distressed. You're not going to find a discount. You're not going to get built-in equity by signing a sheet of paper by buying a property at market value. You need to buy it pre-market value. You need to find it off market, and you need to find it at a deep discount because it's distressed. The next step is the rehab step. You need to take this distressed property that you bought at a discount using somebody else's money. You need to rehab and get it up to snuff so that you can move in an amazing tenant and start to make it a cash producing asset. Now, there are a ton of different ways to rehab properties. I would suggest you looking at what other rental houses in the area, what the condition of those rehab is. If it's a really, really nice, fresh rehab property and you want your property to get that same amount of rent, guess what? You're going to have to match those fit and finishes to get that rent. However, if you want to make yours a little bit nicer, you will at least know what the top bar is. You don't want to go too far over. You don't want to over rehab a property. You can put too much money into it where you're not getting it back on a refinance, or a tenant's not going to pay a certain amount, even if the property's in incredible condition with gold plated here, marble this, soft close that. Looking at how far you want to take your rehab is a question a lot of people have, and the answer is really simple. Just look at what other properties are going for in the area and make your property a similar fit and finish. Now, as far as what to rehab and what to use, I like to go a little bit further. I like to look at the surfaces and focus on those in my rental properties. What I mean by that is I'm going to put in luxury vinyl plank and I'm going to put in granite countertops, those types of things, so that when a tenant moves out, I'm cleaning and not replacing. If you put in carpet, that's fine. It's got a nice cozy feeling. A, it's kind of gross by the time a tenant moves out, and B, you're probably going to have to replace it every year or two. If you have luxury vinyl plank, you probably will never have to replace it. If you do, it'll be a long time. The third step is the rent step. You need to get the property rented. Now that you bought it and fix it up using somebody else's money, it's in rent-ready condition. It's a beautifully, freshly rehabbed house, so you will have your pick of really, really good tenants at a very, very fair market rent price. Now, the reason you do this is because you're getting ready to get a refinance, which is the next step on this property. But the bank is not going to lend you any money on this property unless it is rented, unless it is producing cash. In fact, some banks will make you wait maybe 3 to 6 months.